With stopping power being so easy to find lately in the game, recently I've been noticing people loading stopping power into their ARs. So this made me realize that maybe people don't exactly know all of the properties of stopping power. Now, obviously when you load it into a gun, it takes away shields and white health at the same time. But along with adding more power to your gun, it also increases the recoil on pretty much every single weapon. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to use stopping power to its best ability, so that next time you find it, you're not potentially letting it go to waste. So the first tip has to do with loading stopping power into a gun when you're already full on ammo. Now this one I think is maybe just a glitch, but they haven't done anything to fix it in a very long time, so let me show you a quick workaround for it. So say you're loading your stopping power into an SMG, and you already have 150 SMG ammo in reserve. If you load stopping power into your gun, for whatever reason it's going to deplete some of your ammo, as if you were reloading it normally. So the easiest way to combat that is before you load stopping power into your gun, open up your inventory and drop all of the ammo for the weapon that you're going to load it into. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but for whatever reason, if you're actually empty on the ammo, it will give you a little bit extra. And then once you're done loading the stopping power in, you can actually just pick up the ammo that you dropped before. Now this will obviously make sure that you have stopping power loaded into your gun now, but it'll also ensure that you don't lose any of the ammo that you already had before using it. Now the next thing that I want to go over is the recoil patterns once you add stopping power into a gun. So if you take a look here, I loaded the stopping power into an AMAX. Now this gun already has really bad recoil as it is, but with stopping power in it, you can see that the recoil pattern goes up significantly more than it normally would. This is going to make hitting shots from distance extremely hard because the entire time that you're using the stopping power rounds, your recoil pattern could be jumping the entire height of the player within a couple of shots. Now if you can control this recoil from range, more power to you, but you'll notice that even pros with immaculate aim like Huskers don't typically load stopping power into any of their ARs ever. The best thing to do is to load stopping power into a gun that you're mostly going to be using in close quarters. I usually use stopping power rounds in my SMG, because even though the recoil pattern is significantly increased over what it normally is, with an SMG, typically you're very close to an enemy, and even though the recoil pattern is sort of out of control, you'll still usually be able to hit your shots because you're not having to correct for it as much. The other type of gun that stopping power is extremely effective in is shotguns. Now with shotguns, typically you're hip firing, you're usually very close to your enemy, and it really doesn't matter what the recoil pattern's doing because you're just tap firing anyway. The exception to this would be the JAK-12 because you can hold the button down to auto-fire it. But again, if you're using a shotgun, usually you should be very close to your enemy if you're shooting at them with it anyway. Now the other type of gun that stopping power typically works really well in also would be sniper and marksman rifles. The reason that it works so well in these two different types of guns is because even though it does increase the recoil significantly, typically with a sniper rifle or a marksman rifle, you're aiming down sights, taking a quick shot, and then stop aiming, and then aim down again to take your next shot. Since you go through this whole process of aiming down sights every time you take a shot, it doesn't really matter what your recoil pattern's going to do because you're going to recenter your shot each time you go to take another one. Now another thing to note that doesn't seem to be very common knowledge is when you load stopping power into a gun, it's only going to give you a maximum of 30 rounds with stopping power. Now the reason that I bring this up is because I've noticed in the past a few times, people loading stopping power into guns like the 200 round Bruin or some sort of LMG with a large mag size. Now I get that loading stopping power into a gun that has 200 rounds seems like a great idea because you're going to get 200 rounds of stopping power, but as soon as you run through the first 30 bullets, the stopping power runs out and you go back to normal bullets anyway. So again, we sort of come back to the point of loading stopping power into some sort of AR or LMG is going to make the recoil much harder to control. And if you burn through those first 30 shots from range and wind up missing most of the shots anyway, you basically have completely wasted the stopping power that you could have loaded into something like an SMG. So if you take a look again at the shots that I fired off with the AMAX, you'll notice that as soon as it runs through the first 30 bullets, the ammo color turns from orange back to white. This is because it's indicating that it's completely out of stopping power and it's reverted back to normal shots again. I wish that Call of Duty would provide an explanation to how stopping power works that's a little bit more easily accessible to more casual players that don't know every aspect to every part of the game. But hopefully this guide helps you out, and maybe it'll explain to you why when you load stopping power into a gun, sometimes it makes it seem like the gun shoots differently. That's going to be it for today's tip. I really appreciate you guys watching and all of the support on the channel. And if you found this useful at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it, and if you have any questions, ask me in the comments section. Now, I was running through a trios game the other day with my friend Mafia DNA, And we had a fail partner that seemed a little bit clueless, and he wound up leaving after he died anyway. But regardless of that, I wound up popping off with the Kar 98 and wound up securing the win. So here's the game footage from that game. So I'm gonna let that game footage roll through. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm Silver, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fine, you're fine.
I downed him.
I got it. Job.
Don't worry.
I downed one.
Boom!
Let's go, dude. Oh, yeah, the specialist.
Specialist achieved.
We're here. Take that, dude. That's the next row.
Thanks. We're all getting looked at from left behind. Like down the hill. They had to have been. Somebody's spot right
Yep, they're down at the end. Well, at least some of them are. Very end of Tent City.
here. I feel like I hear someone. Yep. To my right,
Yeah.
to my right.
Throwing stun.
Without the fuel. Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
He's up here. Hey, this is fucking so hard to get around. He was right here.
And now.
Gas is inbound.
I don't know where he went. Right below us. That's not the same guy that was
Great hit,
on me.
dude. Great hit.
Oh my god, right here! Holy fuck. There's fucking 2 feet from us. I gotta push right. There's 2 people right in front of me. They haven't seen me yet.
Okay, I dropped down a level.
Okay, cool.
Down one.
Shit. I can't see his buddy yet.
Shit, he's right there. Shit, precision incoming. No!
Last chance.
Oh, he's right below you, dude. He's right below you. Right on my body almost. He's gonna be right down to the bottom of these
Gas
rocks.
is closing in. Relocating the safe
Yep.
zone.
Let's go, dude.
Gas moving in.
Damn, I got.
Bro, 1v1. There he is. Let's go, baby! Let's
Let's
go!
fucking go, dude.
Did you just drop 16? Did you just drop
Yeah, bro.
16? Let's go,
Jesus
son!
Christ, dude. I was literally ready to get off this game today. It's okay.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that was textbook, man. And we had a shitty teammate.
True.
God, I felt like I can.
That's fucking dope,
Eight.
dude. Duo v trios
Yeah,
with
and I
fucking
did. Yeah,
24 kills.
24 kills.